These are my Week 9 NFL predictions. Starting off with the Thursday Night Football game between the Jets and the Texans. The Jets have really just been crumbling this entire season. Who would have thought they would have had a better record last year than they have this year? Their offense has been middle of the road this entire year, and their defense has been getting worse and worse, especially after Saleh left. Now for the Texans, injuries have really killed their weapons on offense. Losing Diggs and Collins is really rough. But their defense has performed extremely well this season. And they're just simply a way better overall team than the Jets are, so I have the Texans. Give me the Falcons over the Cowboys. I see this one being close, but I think the Falcons will end up getting the win just because I don't see the Cowboys offense having much success against this Falcons defense. Now, I will say, I do think there's a way that the Cowboys could lock up the Falcons. Keyword could. So that does scare me a little bit, but I'm still going to pick the Falcons. Give me the Ravens over the Broncos. They had a fluke last week. It's not going to happen again. They're getting their defensive pieces back, and they're going to win. Tua is going to be back, so that makes it very interesting for the Bills versus Dolphins. And this is going to be one of my upsets of the week. I have the Dolphins winning. I think they're going to be extremely motivated, and they're going to beat this Bills team. I just see the Dolphins offense going crazy on this Bills defense that has looked shaky when they've played better offenses. Next, we have Saints versus Panthers. This game's really weird because in the beginning of the season, the Saints absolutely destroyed the Panthers. But of course, they've had all these injuries now and have completely crumbled, so it's hard to tell. This game is going to go down to the wire. It's a divisional game, going to go right to the last minute, I assume. And I'll take the Panthers. The Bengals are a lot better than the record shows, and the Raiders are just simply garbage. Give me the Bengals. Great win for the Browns last week defeating the Ravens, but I think it was kind of more of a fluke in the Ravens beating themselves up more than anything else. Jameis Winston had a lot of bad throws that should have been picked off, but the Ravens just couldn't intercept it. And I think those weaknesses will show up when they play this Chargers defense that's not going to let that fly. Give me the Chargers. Next, we have the Commanders versus the Giants. This game is always close. Doesn't matter how good either of these teams are. I think the Commanders are going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I think the Patriots are heading in a good direction. I really like how Drake May is playing. I don't know if he's going to be playing this week, but it looks like he's likely to start. And even though I don't think the Patriots are a very good team at all, they're better than the Titans, so give me New England. Tough loss for the Bears last week, and I think it's actually going to help them in this game be motivated. I really like the Cardinals. I like what they've been doing so far this year, but I think the Bears are going to just be too much for them. Give me the Bears. Next, we have Eagles-Jaguars, and the Eagles finally look like they're getting their offense together. The Jaguars are a very weird team because they don't win many games, but they keep a lot of them competitive. Does that mean I think they're going to win? Hell no, but I think it's going to actually be a little bit competitive this game. The Eagles are probably going to win, but watch out for the Jaguars. This is not a game I would bet on. All of these NFC North matchups are going to be crazy this year with how high-powered that division is. The Lions are obviously the better team, but I think the Packers are going to put up a very good fight. And even though the Lions have been playing so good recently, I think the Packers are going to get the best of them in this game. I have the Lions beating them later in the season, but right now I think the Packers are going to win. Anybody who's a Rams or Seahawks fans know that this matchup is always very interesting. As a Ravens fan, it reminds me a lot of AFC North matchups where you really never know what you're going to expect. So I am going to pick the Rams because I think they're a better team. But this is also not another game I would bet on because you really don't know which direction it's going to take you. And if the Seahawks ended up winning this game, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Then on Sunday Night Football, we have the Colts and the Vikings. The Colts have decided Joe Flacco is their starter, and I think that's the right decision. Now, I know a lot of people's mindset is, well, Joe Flacco's not your future, so why are you putting him in the game? Well, the reason they are is because they have a pretty okay record. Like in the AFC, they have a record that is easily can take them to the playoffs if they keep winning games in the future. And Joe Flacco is simply the better player. When you're in this point of the season, you need to just put whoever's the better player in. That doesn't mean you completely abandon Anthony Richardson, but right now is Joe Flacco time, so they have to put him in the game. With that being said, I just don't see the Vikings losing 3 in a row. I expect them to figure it out and win this game, but I like Joe Flacco, so I'm going to be rooting heavily for the Colts. And on Monday Night Football, we have a Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago, the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. A couple weeks ago, I definitely would have considered the Buccaneers to win this game. But with all the injuries they've had on offense, it's going to be a real struggle, and I just don't see them doing anything against the best defense in the NFL, obviously the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. That looks like a 15-0 weekend if I've ever seen one. I am now only posting my predictions on YouTube because you guys seem to like it a lot more on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and follow my TikTok if you don't already.